Yes, this is a real movie. Yes, I did see it. And yes, I'm reviewing it right now. What has this world come to? What the hell? Hey, what's up, you guys? Film Fan 0599 here again, and today we're going to review Tom and Jerry, Willy Wonka, and the Chocolate Factory. So, what Tom and Jerry, Willy Wonka, and the Chocolate Factory is basically about, it's basically the same plot as Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, but with Tom and Jerry added to it. I'm dead serious. That's basically what it is. And you're probably, the biggest question you have right now, actually you have two big questions. One, they actually made this, and two, you actually saw it. Yes, I did. Because, I never even heard about this. I didn't even know Tom and Jerry were, being added to, old classic, tales and whatever until this movie. All of a sudden, this movie just blew up and everybody was, getting angry about it. And, a couple of my friends were watching Caden, Kevin, and Adam, and I was like, you know what? Invite me in, I'll watch it with you guys, just to see what the big hoopla is about this movie. And it's okay. It's fine. It's alright. The movie, it's mediocre at best, really. I honestly didn't hate it as nearly as much as other people are really hating it. It's an okay movie. It's fine. I could definitely tell if someone told me, hey, I hated this. I can understand, and a lot of people have been, it just tarnishes kind of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory and all of that, and I can understand that. And, I can understand where you're coming from with that, but for me, it just was okay. It was fine. It just wasn't really a good movie. It's not terrible, but it's not a good movie either. There were some things in this movie that really kept me from really, hating it, really. And, just from saying, it's okay. There's some good things that I liked, but overall, as a movie, it's just kind of mediocre. Well, let's get into my positives. And my positives are, first being, the voice acting for Charlie and Grandpa Joe was actually pretty good. I thought the actors that did play them were pretty solid. I did enjoy them in the movie. They were by far the best voice actors in the entire film. The comedy at some points was actually really good. I actually did like some of the comedy at points in this movie, it's got the old Tom and Jerry slapstick humor, and it's actually pretty funny at times, I'm not gonna lie. There were some times where it made me laugh, there's a scene where a window closes on Tom, and it's really funny, it's pretty hilarious. So, there are some funny moments in this movie, and then, yeah, that tunnel scene that everyone keeps on talking about with this movie, because they recreate the famous tunnel scene, and it's actually quite funny to me. It was actually quite humorous how they did it. So, yeah, the comedy does work at some points in this movie. The animation is way better than it should be, really. The animation is pretty solid for the most part. It actually is. Even Adam said it when we were watching the movie. He was like, this animation is way better than it should be. Because, it's a straight-to-DVD animated film. And the sad part about it is that this movie has better animation than The Boss Baby, and that was a theatrical release movie. So, yeah, that's pretty sad. So, yeah, the animation, for the most part, really, is actually pretty solid. It actually didn't look too bad to me. The animation wasn't too bad, really. It was actually pretty solid for the most part. And lastly, it has that classic banter between Tom and Jerry that we all love. It really is. It's really great. I love their banter between each other. It's definitely fantastic. It's that old classic banter between the two characters. And it's really enjoyable. And whenever, they do their banter, it's quite great. And I actually quite enjoyed it. But what keeps it from me from enjoying this movie, really, is, for one, is what I'm about to get into the negatives, is one, the rest of the voice acting is really awful. I honestly think it's the worst thing about this movie. It's just the rest of the voice acting. It's really bad, to be honest with you. Like, everyone else that plays the rest of the kids, like Veronica, Augustus, Mike, like, all of them, Violet, like, they just do such an awful job. Like, they really do. They do such a terrible job in this movie. And then, the man that plays Willy Wonka, wow, just does such an awful job to me. Like, he really does. He really just does a very, very terrible job. Just the rest of the voice acting in this movie is quite awful. It's honestly the worst thing about this movie to me is the absolutely atrocious voice acting from everyone else. Then some of the animation is not that good. Like, it's mostly the facial expressions from a lot of these characters at times. That's what really is really not good about this animation, because it's quite creepy, honestly, some of the facial expressions that these characters make at points. Like, just the animation with it makes it look really creepy and really out of place. It just looks really bad at some points, the animation. Yeah, there's just some points in this movie where the animation just does not look that good. Although, like I said, I did enjoy Tom and Jerry in this movie, I will admit, I will agree with a lot of people that, yeah, they felt shoehorned into this. Like, it just, like, they kind of had no placement, really, to be in this movie. Like, they're just thrown into all these situations with, the Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory story. Like, they're just thrown into it, and it just feels kind of out of place, really. Like, it's like they're just thrown into this story. I will, admit, it kind of detracts from a lot of things when it comes to the Willy Wonka stuff, And it's just like, why did they have to just be shoehorned into this? I know Tom and Jerry in the title, but it's just like they're just forced into these situations with these characters in this film, and it just feels really out of place to me. And also, just the way that they do the Willy Wonka stuff in this movie, like recreating the film and whatever, it's just really boring, honestly. Like, even the Willy Wonka stuff was just kind of boring to me, really. Like, I found the Tom and Jerry stuff, honestly, to be way more interesting. You know what they could have done? They could have just done a movie with Tom and Jerry in the Chocolate Factory. Like, you know what I mean? They could have just done that, really. They didn't have to do the whole story of, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. They didn't have to do that, you know what I mean? They could maybe just made a whole another movie where they were just in the Chocolate Factory. I think that could have been an enjoyable movie, to be honest, but no, they just tried to do the story of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. You get the point. They tried to do that story and, incorporate it into this movie. And the fact that it's a shot-for-shot remake of it with just Tom and Jerry add to it, it's not that good. It just really isn't. And the movie does get really boring to me at points. Like, it really does. The movie's only an hour and 19 minutes, and it just drags out. It really does. And it rushes too. No, it really rushes. That's the thing. Like, they rush this story. Like, really rush it. They really do. They just rush everything. And it's just like, it feels incredibly rushed, this movie. It really does. Like, they just were like, okay, we need to get this out, and it just feels so incredibly rushed. So, yeah. Overall, Tom and Jerry, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory is basically what you expected. It's just kind of just not that good, really. Like, it's not terrible. It's by far from one of the worst things I've seen this year, like a lot of other people have been making it out to be, but I can see why someone would say this is terrible, to be honest. But me, I just kind of left with a meh reaction after watching this movie, so yeah. So it's time for my official grade on Tom and Jerry, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, and my official grade on Tom and Jerry, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory is a C-. Like I said, it's okay. It's fine. It's one of those just forgettable straight-to-DVD movies. That's all it is. It really is to me. That's all it is. With, some good voice acting from the guys that played Charlie and Grandpa Joe, and some of the animation and comedy being well, and the banter between Tom and Jerry, that kind of saves it from being completely awful. But overall, I think the movie is just okay. It's still not a good film to me. Like, there's a lot of things that are kind of going wrong for it to me than going right, and it's just not that great of a movie. It's just kind of blech. That's what it really is. It's just a meh movie, and I didn't really enjoy it all that much. It's very forgettable, and honestly, I just started forgetting the movie after we watched it, honestly, because it's just that forgettable. So yeah, it gets a C minus. So somehow, if you did see this movie, I honestly really don't know if anyone else really saw this, but if you did see it, what did you think of it? Leave in the comment section below, and I'm FilmFan0599, and we'll see you all later. Peace.